Welcome to another episode of The Buzzing Bee, and on this episode I want to discuss one of the most lucrative and in-demand healthcare profession, which is also proving to be one of the most overlooked professions in the healthcare industry. To those of you who work in the healthcare field, you probably know what I'm talking about, and if you think that it's the medical technology profession or the clinical laboratory scientist profession, then you are definitely correct. We usually see and hear, especially during these times of the pandemic crisis caused by the novel coronavirus or the COVID-19, that the healthcare workers are the frontline heroes that help treat patients by continually sacrificing themselves by staying in the hospitals where they work 24/7 to combat coronavirus and save patient lives. To most people whose professions do not involve any healthcare practices or services, they oftentimes have the notion that only the doctors and the nurses risk their lives, especially on this pandemic crisis. A lot of the people has limited knowledge that aside from the doctors and nurses, there are also few other healthcare professionals like the CNAs or the Certified Nursing Associates or aides, the LPNs, the PAs, who also risk their lives and engage in this noble health service or profession. In this vlog, let us look at one of the healthcare profession that is oftentimes overlooked, if not forgotten, the medical technology profession. A medical technologist is a highly skilled health care professional who tests and analyzes blood and other fluids like the spinal fluid, lung or pleural fluids, the gastric acid or gastric acid effusions or aspirates, exudates or pus from the wound, and tissue biopsies that is obtained from surgical procedures. Medical technologists are responsible for operating and maintaining the equipments used to analyze these pathological specimens, and these professionals ensure that tests are reported accurately, precisely, and completed in a correct and timely manner. During this pandemic crisis, many medical technologists or clinical lab scientists and physicians are constantly conducting research and testing new procedures to help prevent, diagnose, and treat COVID-19 diseases, as well as developing new drugs and medicines that can lessen the symptoms or treat ailments. Through the use of the medical technology in the clinical laboratory settings, scientists have been able to examine diseases on a cellular level and produce antibodies in the form of attenuated or lyophilized vaccines against life-threatening diseases like malaria, polio, mumps, tuberculosis, measles, rubella, and flu. Through the medical technology research, investigation, and advancement, the spread of disease is prevented and thousands of lives are saved all around the globe. As a matter of fact, the World Health Organization estimates that vaccines save about 3 million lives per year and prevent millions of others from contracting deadly viruses and diseases. At present, the medical technologists, specifically the blood bankers, never cease to investigate and come up with their final research that the convalescent plasma that came from those blood donors who recovered from the COVID-19's dreadful infection can be given to COVID-19 patients. These units or blood products like the convalescent plasma that I mentioned that is given to the ill patients contain adequate amount of antibodies that combat the antigens that are present on the novel coronavirus. Medical technologists or the clinical lab scientists risk their lives as well, like the doctors and nurses, by exposing themselves with proper PPEs while working on patient samples to carry out an accurate investigation so that the doctors would know what to do with their patients. Whenever we see commercials thanking nurses and doctors for their noble job, we in the medical technology field are saddened because people hardly know that in every diagnosis and treatment that your doctor or your primary physician does, we are usually overlooked. The medical technologists, if not forgotten, are overlooked. And we are not acknowledged and appreciated. And medical technologists are actually the unsung heroes behind every doctor's treatment and diagnosis. Little do the majority of the people know that the medical technologists are the brains behind every operation, investigation, and examination on patient sample. That is why your doctor is able to treat you properly. The medical technologists are also the backbone of every doctor's diagnosis and treatment. And these professionals play very essential roles or fundamental roles in patient recovery from their disease processes. During these times of the pandemic crisis, I think that this is just the right time to at least appreciate the medical technology professionals and realize how this part of the healthcare industry provide physicians with new ways to improve the quality of care delivered to their patients and improve the state of global healthcare. Through medical technologies integration in the sections of hematology, blood bank, clinical chemistry, microbiology, serology, immunology, molecular biology, and histology that all deal with disease prevention, surgical procedures, better access to information, and medical telecommunication, the medical industry and patients around the world continue to benefit. Let us all acknowledge and appreciate the medical technologists because they are the unsung heroes and backbone on every doctor's correct diagnosis and treatment on every sick patient. Without the medical technologists, your primary care doctors would just be guessing on their diagnosis and treatment of their patients. Happy Laboratory Week, Medical Technologies, and I hope that you would always be safe and enjoy working. And I know this service is always to the best of your knowledge and ability. Again, Happy Laboratory Professional Week to all the medical technologists of the world.